All right, everybody, let's get into it. Week 6, I checked this time. Week 6 and episode 6 of Black Sheep Podcast, and we're talking about being a child of divorced parents. Yeah, super relatable topic. I feel like super relatable. I feel like everybody's got divorced parents. Nobody's got parents that are still together. That's just weird. Seriously though, it is a relatable topic. It's a cool topic, and obviously something I grew up with, having divorced parents. And honestly, I fucking loved it. I fucking love it. Having divorced parents is the fucking best. I always would make jokes growing up, like, "Oh man, your parents are still together. That's fucking weird." Just cause like I don't know, man. I loved growing up with divorced parents. For holidays, you do like two different things. Obviously, as you get older, things kind of change. But for the most part, always doing a holiday twice. Birthday, doing it twice. Luckily for me, my situation with having divorced parents wasn't as bad as some people that I grew up with, people that I knew who had divorced parents who, one parent moved to a whole nother state or one parent just wasn't involved completely. But it wasn't the best. I had friends who had parents that were divorced that you were shocked when you knew they were divorced. Like, you would never know they were divorced. It's like as if they were still together. Probably still were doing some side shit. But yeah, so that's that. And look, I'm not gonna act like it was all fantastic and whatnot, because it wasn't. Obviously, I was little when it happened. I was like 7. Let's just say 7. 7's a nice number. I was young. I was under 10. But yeah, so that sucked. Fucked me up a little bit for a little bit. But it's good. We cool now. My parents made me, or at least my mom made me see a therapist, I think, to talk it out. Didn't really help. I also wasn't a fan of the woman, the therapist. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for therapy. Go see a therapist. At least try it out. But yeah, the therapist I saw when I was younger, fucking waste of time. At least I think. Maybe I was too young to appreciate it. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that fucked me up a little bit. But I'm good now. But yeah, being a child of divorced parents, at least for me, I won't speak for others. But for me, it was cool growing up, I guess. Definitely two different households, different rules. Growing up, one house might give you a curfew. The other house might not give a fuck when you get back. Yeah, that was a big one. One house, I had a curfew. I had to, be home by a certain time because that specific parent would not go to bed till I got home, which is cool. I get it. You're worried about your amazing son. I know. It's fine. And then, the other household, yeah, come home whenever. And growing up, cool. Don't give me a curfew. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Cool. I'm cool with it. Might not even come home. Cool. But at the same time, the house where I did have, curfew and some rules, I had privacy and I had respect. Whereas the house that, I didn't have a curfew, I was still like being watched and being tracked, whether it was my phone, my car, or even being tracked in the house with video cameras everywhere. It's like you're uncomfortable to even change in your bedroom or go to the bathroom because God only knows where the fuck there's a camera. So yeah, that was fucking weird. But it's cool. When you're younger, I definitely think some parents try to be like the cool parent, the fun parent, the friend rather than a parent. Whereas, you might have a parent that's strict and, you got to follow rules. It is what it is. And when you're younger, it seems like it sucks. It seems like, oh man, I'm going to stick with the fun parent. I'm going to, I want to do fun stuff. I don't want to have rules. I don't want to have a curfew. Shit happens. But, you grow up, you mature, you realize, oh man, like, nah, I'm gonna respect the rules. I'm gonna respect the curfew. I'm gonna respect the parent. Respect the parent that respects the kid. And that's a big thing, you know, growing up. Luckily, I was never in a messy situation where, you know, me and my siblings had to go to court to like choose a side, or me and my siblings were never, at least for me, I won't even talk for my siblings, but you know, I was never told from one parent or another, like they never gave negative opinions about the other parent. I was able to grow up and make that decision for myself. And that's my thing. You know, if people are watching this who are divorced or planning on getting divorced or anything like that, my biggest thing, or just, you know, being parents and like separated. You know, my fiance has a son. She was never married, but like, you know, obviously no longer with the father, and the father is not really around. But we don't need to get into that. It's not what we're talking about. But you know, I see it with myself. I see it with my stepson. I see it with friends who are kids of divorced parents. There's no reason to give your kid any sort of negative attention towards the other parent, or any sort of feedback or opinion. There's no need to give that to the kid. The kid's gonna grow up and the kid's gonna have the opinion of a parent. So for me, I was never given, you know, negative opinions about one parent or another as I was growing up. I was able to grow up and make opinions for myself, you know. Sometimes I'd want to stay at one house rather than the other growing up because, you know, I had more leeway at one house. You know, I had more fun. I had no rules at one house, whereas the other house, like I said, you know, I had a curfew. I had rules. But then I grew up and I matured and I realized I'm like, damn, like I might not have rules here, but I'm being watched. I'm being tracked. I'm fucking uncomfortable here. Whereas like I had privacy at another house. Another big thing is like you got to realize who is, you know, supporting things you do. You know, I decided to leave college and pursue a, you know, some might call it a hobby, some might call it a career. You know, I was having fun at the time. I was working security, but on the side, I had hopes to move to California with a clothing line I was working with. And unfortunately that fell through, but you know, one parent was definitely more supportive than the other. And to this day, even with Black Sheep, you know, I definitely have, you know, people who support me and people who don't. And that doesn't mean people buying my shit. Like, I don't care. You know, I've said it many times. I'm not here for the sales. I'm not here for the views. Just having somebody say, oh man, I like that. I love that. That's cool. That's awesome. You should maybe do this, do that. You know, people who are just involved in your life. So that's where I'm getting at with being a child of divorced parents, is that to the parents, there's no reason to give your opinion of the other parent to the kid. There's no reason to push that on them. There's no reason to mention any sort of negativity or positivity. Just honestly let them grow up and get that opinion themselves. And you know, that's what we do with my stepson. We don't share any negative opinions about his father. He can grow up and have his own opinions. And to my friends with divorced parents, make your own opinion. If one parent is petty towards the other, don't let that affect your relationship with that parent. So yeah, you know, growing up, I saw who was truly supportive. I saw who was truly there for me. And, you know, the nights I was sick, who stayed up with me while I was, you know, throwing up. God, speaking of, I feel so bad for my fiance, and she knows this. We joke about it all the time. I feel so bad when she's gonna be pregnant and, you know, be sick, because I can't be around throw up. That's my one thing. I'll change diapers. I'll do what I gotta do. I cannot be around throw up. Oh my God. God, I hope she knows. I hope she knows. I'm not gonna be the one holding her hair back, you know, being up. I can't do it. I can't be around. I'm sorry. Anyway, totally off topic. But yeah, I, you know, grew up and I saw who was around. You know, making sure I was good, making sure I was taken care of, who was supporting me and who was supporting my hobbies and my goals, my dreams. Whereas, you know, one parent may have just been doing the bare minimum, or thinking, you know, oh, hey, well, you know, if I'm here for this, then I don't gotta be there for that, because I was there for one thing, I don't gotta be there for multiple, and that's just so fucked up. So yeah, you know, to the parents, be there, be present. That's my biggest thing about being a child of divorced parents, is be there. If you have visitations, if you have If your kids are supposed to like spend a weekend with you, spend a night with you, be there. If it's just a night, if it's just a weekend, you can make plans around that. If you want to go be fucking some bitch, fuck that bitch, but do it on days you're not supposed to have your kids. It's that simple. Your kid should be your priority. And I've been around. I've heard things. I remember. I don't want to get too specific, so let's talk broadly. Let's just say, like, I think it's ridiculous when a parent goes around saying, "Oh, my kids are my everything. My kids come first," but like, they want to have some person over, some booty call over on a night they're supposed to have their kids, so they tell their kids like, "Oh, like stay with the other parent, stay with the sibling, so and so is coming over." And the more you grow, the more you're supposed to like see one parent. They're like more invested in a relationship, or maybe they're going out of town, or maybe they just rather do something else than have their kids. So it's crazy. So my biggest thing to parents who are separated, divorced, whatever, be there for your fucking kids. As I see with my stepson, it's like there's nothing I wouldn't do for that kid, and he's not even mine. But I see that because I see absent family members, and he doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve to have people come and go as they please. I don't deserve to have people come and go as they please. My friends, nobody, no matter what age you are, nobody deserves to have family members come and go as they please. When it's convenient for them, they'll hang out with you, take a picture with you, post it on Facebook, act like, they're there for you. That's my biggest thing. And, I talk to friends, I talk to coworkers, I talk to so many people who are like, separated parents, whether they were married or just had a kid and they're no longer together, where one of the parents might have like visitation, but like they're just complete absent parents. And they act like they are such great parents when they have their kid for a few hours or for a night. They feel like they need to post it all over Facebook, Instagram. Fuck that, dude. Fuck that. Just be around, man. Be around. I over the years as I grew, I used to love having like pictures of me posted on Facebook, and like, I don't know, I used to love the attention. Now I don't give a shit. Like, be here, support what I'm doing, but like, I don't need like the fake ass posts acting like people are around in my life when they're not. So I'm babbling on and on and on, and I feel like I'm about to get really specific, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Because people get upset when they're called out on their shit. So I think I'll leave it as that. As you may have noticed, I'm in my new room. I didn't even say nothing about that, but yeah. Like I said, it's pretty bland. I'm nowhere near set up, but I got my drum set back. Reversed. Got my drum set back there. I bought a new electric drum set. I used to have an electric drum set, but either got sold on eBay or trash. I don't fucking know. I'm missing so much shit. But we don't gotta get into that. Got my guitars. Yeah. I don't know how this camera works. But yeah, it's my little music room / office for when I'm working from home, which is this area right here. But yeah, I'm excited. I'll be making my shirts down here. I'm gonna have a little work area over here. I'm super excited. Gonna be making some new shirts and other stuff for Black Sheep. So very excited. But yeah, that's I'm gonna end it off on that. My biggest thing to parents who are not together but have children together is just be around for the kid. I don't care if you have feelings towards the other parent, negative, positive, whatever it is. Be there for your fucking kid. Jesus Christ. Just be there. No matter how fucking old they are. If they're a toddler, if they're a teenager, if they're in their fucking 20s, they're whatever the fuck it is. Be there for your fucking kid. Jesus. On that note, next week, I want to talk about... I don't even know how to word this. I know what I want to talk about, but I don't know how to word it. I want to talk about how when people... It's kind of like a he said, she said thing. I want to talk about how people always... for me personally, always will like come up to me and for some reason know something about me or know how I feel without coming to me. For example, I've had people say, oh, I heard you left college because of this, or I heard you don't ever want to go on vacation because of this. And it's crazy because when they say this, I'm like, those words never came out of my mouth. That's not how I feel. I'd love to go on vacation. I'd love to have stayed at college if, my mental state was better there. So we're gonna talk about that. It's kind of like a little he said, she said thing, but I just can't say when people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, I heard this." It's like I don't know who the fuck you heard that from because I didn't say it. But yeah, again, I think that's everything I have to say. I'll see you next week. One last thing, I will mention this if you're still here. I appreciate everybody listening. Is again, I'm not here for the views, I'm not here for the likes, I'm not here for the shares, but I do love when people come up to me or message me personally, just like, hey, I just want you to know, like, oh, I listen to this podcast, I'm listening to your podcast. I love that. I don't need you to publicly share my shit, like my shit. You just messaging me, texting me, calling me, talking to me in person, telling me you watched it. It's all I need. So yeah. As always, don't be a dick. Stay beautiful. Don't judge people. And yeah, thanks for watching because it means a lot.